Welcome back everybody to Myelin and Me. Today's episode is about rewiring. Now, I'm not an electrician and I'm going to tell you how to rewire stuff, right? But what I mean by this is, right, we're going to rewire your mind, your brain, to think differently whilst having MS. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to do it, right? And it's something which it took me a while to learn, you know. Just to sort of rewire your mind to think completely differently. And you'll find it's absolutely brilliant. Well, I love it anyway. But, you know, as we all know, MS pretty much has wrecked your nervous system. I know it's wrecked mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a new one. Not with medicine, not with sort of toxic positivity or drinking celery juice or something like that. I'm going to rewire my energy, my routines, my perspective, one stubborn day at a time. It's not a comeback. This is a blueprint, right? And I want you to see it, walk alongside it, or just watch from a distance if it's better for you. You know, if that's all you've got in you at the moment, then happy days, just do what you can. So you might say, Mike, you know, what's rewiring mean? How am I supposed to do that? So rewiring is what we do when life doesn't go back to normal. Because unfortunately, when you're diagnosed with MS, some people might be lucky, they might go into remission, but most of us don't go back to normal. So it's not fixing, it's not pretending, it's adapting. And adapting with your eyes open, you know, and your fist clenched and you're like, come on, we can do this. So MS forces you to change, you know. So rewiring is when you decide how you're going to change. Always got to stay one step ahead of this disease, you know, because it's not as clever as it thinks it is. And I don't have all the answers at all, but I've started asking the right questions, and I know I have. So I used to power through like everything. I used to run on fumes, rest only when I completely crashed. You know, you kind of just get to the stage, you're just like, I can't move anymore. So what's the point in that? So, you know, MS was like, nah, we're going to stop you. No. You're not going to think anymore. You're just going to sit down and chill out and that's it. But now, rewiring means I treat my energy like a limited budget. It's like I'm playing a video game on hard mode, but, you know, I still want to win. Look at it like that, it's pretty simple, you know, if you put it to that. So one thing that I've started asking really is what actually matters today. You know, you wake up in the morning, you're like, well, what have I got to do today? What have I got to do? And if I don't do it, someone's going to die, right? Start off the top and work our way down. So then you've got to look at what can wait, you know, and what can I let go of completely. You know, most of the chores, I think. But it's not giving up though, is it? It's smart survival. That's rewiring. You know, it's survival. You're thinking smart. You know, you're sort of getting all your stuff in order and you're thinking, right, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I really need to do. This is what I could do, and this is what I'm not going to do. So before I was diagnosed, I thought, you know, routine meant hustle, productivity, efficiency, because that's what you think. But now, you know, routine to me, and this is from my point of view, it means like, you know, 10 minutes of movement that doesn't hurt. Brilliant, isn't it? You know, so you're keeping yourself nice and healthy. Okay, your 10 minutes of movement in. Slowing down without feeling shame. Now that's a massive one for me because I hate just sitting down. I feel so lazy. I feel like I could be doing more, you know. But, you know, you've got to think of, right, if I take a break before I collapse and not after, that's another thing. You're rewiring the way you are and you need to do it. It's simple as that. So some days I get through the list. Other days, brushing my teeth is a win. Having a shower and then sitting down for 20 minutes after, your head in your hands, like, oh my word, I'm tired already. But I show up either way because rewiring isn't about perfection. It's about persistence, and persistence is key. And, you know, if your routine looks different to mine, that's fine. You know, this isn't a prescription, it's a process. And we've all got different processes. And it's just trying to get you into this way of thinking that, you know, rewiring is a way which you're going to live the rest of your life. And it does work. So I've got to be clear with this, though. I'm not here to, you know, think positive. I'm here to think true. You know, it's a completely different thing. People think positive, but no, just think true. And the truth is, MS is hard. It's one of the hardest things you're ever going to do. You know, the grief is real. The fear is real. The fatigue feels fake because it's just so ridiculous. You know, it's like, is this real? But all of this is real. What you're going through now is real. So the moments of peace in the middle of chaos, you know, you've got to look at those sort of things. You know, it's your dark humour, it sort of keeps you sane. You know, I bet there's a lot of people out there that just use humour just to get through things. You know, the grit you discover when your body won't play along, you know, you kind of think, I can do this. I can do it. So, you know, I've stopped judging myself by who I was before I was diagnosed. It's like blaming a phone for not working underwater, isn't it? I know some do nowadays, but just go with this one. You know, the conditions have changed. So unfortunately, we've got to change. We've got to adapt. So I've started rewiring the voice in my head. Not in a, you know, a nutcase way, you know, just, it's always a little voice in your head and in your mind all the time. So it now says, you're doing brilliantly. Considering you've been through hell and you're still showing up. And that is massive, you know, what we're going through, and you're still showing up every day. You're still watching Mike talk a load of rubbish on Myelin and me, you know. So I started this channel for one reason. I needed somewhere sort of to put the fire that MS couldn't take away. I wanted people to know. I want people, you know, awareness out there. I'm not a guru, definitely not an expert. I'm just someone who's got tired of being silent. So I'm just passing on what I've been through in the last 6 years. You know, I can't walk far, but I can reach people by talking to you guys on here. You know, there's billions of people on YouTube, and, you know, I'm just there, I'm just one voice. You know, I can't fix this disease, but I could tell the truth about it. I can't go back, but I can move forward in a different direction. And I want people who are struggling or who are new to MS to know that. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, you know, that's what I'm doing. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Put in the comments what you do. You know, how do you rewire your mind? And if you're not ready to talk yet, or you're not ready to do anything yet, you don't have to. You can just sort of sit here, watch, listen. You know, that's part of the process too. You know, we all move at different paces. It's taken me years to even, you know, to get to the stage where I want to talk about what I'm going through personally. So I haven't got a clue where this journey is going to end. You know, none of us do. None of us know which way it's going to go. But I know this. I'm not rewiring alone, because there's a lot of people doing it as well. And that just gives you that little bit more, doesn't it, to keep going. And it's a shared project at the end of the day. It's messy and finished. Brave little rebellion about giving up, because we're not giving up. It won't beat us. It just won't beat us. And every time that you comment or like or just watch quietly, that's a spark. You know, that's something's happening there. That's another connection in the rewired network that we're building, if you like. We'll put it like that. So, you know, I'm going to end. Hopefully you've you know, you've learned something from this. So if you're living with MS or any other chronic condition, you just happen to stumble across this channel, or, you know, just life's not going to plan, you know, and you've watched this far, then you're doing all right. So, you know, just remember one thing is you're not stuck. You're just rewiring and you keep moving forward. So I want to thank you all for watching. If there's anything, you know, you want to talk about, either put in the comments. As I say, I read every comment and I reply to everyone as well. So put in the comments. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate you just click the subscribe button and the like button. That would mean the world. And I'll see you on the next one.